Why does China ban guns? Because you don't know how terrifying Chinese people can be if guns are not banned. Let me tell you a story about it. On September 11, 1993, over 2 barrels of pork fat, a conflict erupted between Matian village and Jinggang village, escalating into two battles involving more than 5,000 people. The first battle lasted 3 hours. Hundreds of villagers wielded spears and hoes, blades flashing and blood spilling. Everyone on both sides was injured. As the sun set with no clear winner, the two village chiefs called a halt and agreed on a decisive battle the next day. Yes, a decisive battle. That night, both villages mobilized completely. All able-bodied men aged 15 and above were required to fight. Each household had to send at least one person to the front line, with eggs distributed as incentives. Kill one enemy combatant and he would be rewarded with an extra 300 eggs. If he was disabled in battle, the entire village would support his family and take care of his parents for life. The villagers pulled together over 1,000 homemade guns and cannons, 460 kilograms of improvised explosives, 2,700 detonators, and even more cold weapons. The two village chiefs had only primary school educations, yet they understood infantry artillery coordination, how to build trenches and fortifications, how to seize firing positions, how to plan deployments, and how to set up crossfire. The village committee office was turned into a command center. The village doctor's home became a field hospital, and even the veterinarian was drafted to treat the wounded. The elderly, women, and children were organized to handle logistics and supply for the front lines. The villagers on both sides looked exactly like two regular armies. As the fighting escalated and casualties mounted, Matian village called in reinforcements. Over 1,500 people with weapons from 5 neighboring villages trying to wipe out Jinggang village in one blow. Jinggang village fell into a disadvantage. But thanks to good organization, it held its positions while calling for outside support. The second battle dragged on in a deadlock for 34 hours. No one called the police because both sides were conceived they would win. In the end, it was a neighboring village that secretly reported the fighting. More than 1,000 armed police were rushed in, but even then, neither side was willing to cease fire. Finally, 2 helicopters were deployed and tear gases were fired, which at least brought the fighting to an end. In total, more than 20 people were killed and hundreds injured. The two villages signed a ceasefire agreement. Yes, 2 villages, not 2 countries, okay? This incident accelerated China's gun ban. More than 2,000 years ago, China already had the art of war. China's people have an extremely deep history of warfare. You see, if 2 counties or 2 cities were to fight each other, how terrifying would that be? You might not know that when Washington led the American Revolutionary War, his main force numbered only a few thousand troops. The United States has many shooting incidents every year, but in scale, they are actually quite small. Overall, the American people are relatively mild. The Chinese way of thinking is different. In normal times, people want peaceful lives. But if their own government or a foreign enemy becomes intolerable, once war begins, it is a fight to the finish. So does your country ban guns? Do you support it? Follow me on Eastern Perspective to see the world.